Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the CEO of one of the fastest growing companies in North Texas and his innovative solution for industrial innovation. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So I started my PR firm from my home 14 years ago, and I've been growing at a steady pace each year, adding an employee or 2 each year. But I'm very envious of people who are in hyper growth. And my next guest is doing just that with his company, Mike Kinder. He's the CEO and co-founder of Veryable. Thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
So tell us about your company. What does Veryable do?
Well, first and foremost, it's industrial innovation. And we're trying to crack the code on how to do industrial innovation properly. A lot of companies out there want to sell robotics, they want to sell equipment, analytics, they want to sell things like that. We see the primary problem is labor, and we use labor as a way to introduce a lot of industrial innovation. So what you'll see for most of, if you were to download our app or go on our website, it's about labor flexibility and agility. So we've got operations in 26 cities in the US right now. We incorporated in 2016. We've been in market since 2017. 300,000 users on the platform, on the supply side, operators. 5,000 companies, grown pretty fast.
Was there anything like this before you started your company?
No, not really. I mean, when we first started, we looked at kind of the landscape of industrial innovation. And you've got different categories of industrial innovation. You've got things like robotics, you've got things like Internet of Things, you've got augmented reality like 3D printing, you've got what we'd call like man-machine interface or operator enablement like wearables, things like that. But nothing that was really tying it all together. And there's not really a good entry point for any of those things. So we thought, you know what? It's the liquidity around labor is where most companies are going to start their journey. So there was nothing like that when we started.
Wow. We're going to put your website up because I'm very impressed. You're still a young man. Can I ask your age?
41.
41. I'm 59, and I'm envious of your success.
You look good at 59.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, obviously, you have some big clients and big partners, and you have to be very proud. How fast have you grown in the last few years?
Last few years, we're up about 10x.
Wow.
In the last 2.5 years.
Will you be my mentor? I am so impressed with you, Mike. And the reason you came to our attention is one of our media partners is the Dallas Business Journal, and so we're always looking at their lists. And you just made the top 100 fastest growing companies, and you finished 14 on the list.
Which isn't really fair because we're already pretty big.
Yes, I know.
So it's a growth rate.
Exactly. So that's got to feel good, does it?
No, it's great. I mean, it's good recognition. We've never really cared that much about external recognition. Our mission is really about economic activity and getting U.S. manufacturing back on a winning track. So if we win tech awards or accolades like that, I think that's great. It's good recognition, but we're in it for the right reasons, I think. Absolutely,
and I think even harder to impress than the attorneys is the lending community, and you just raised a bunch of money. We've got an article we want to put up on the screen. That's got to be amazing. Is it hard? I mean, it's hard to impress smart people with money, isn't it? How was it hard to raise that much money?
I mean, it's always hard. We're lucky to have really good partners. So GigaFund led that round. We've known GigaFund for a number of years. They participated in a round prior to that. So it wasn't a new relationship. But I think when it comes to fundraising, you got to find partners that believe in what you're doing. And You saw at the Venture Dallas event, Brian Tuckman was there from Trust Ventures. We've got great partners, and mutually we've worked very hard to create those relationships.
Tell us about how your company addresses the supply chain, because obviously with what happened in COVID, during COVID, and now we see the lockdowns in China, how does your company address supply chain issues?
Lockdowns here too.
Yeah.
What you've seen over the last 2.5 years, and this is my opinion, but I think the data supports me here, is you've got a temporary exaggeration on problems that have been decades in the making. You know, when you have single points of failure, you can expect those things to fail. We used to care about supply chain resiliency as a priority in operations, where you would have redundancy in your operations. What happened since about 1980 is kind of a bureaucratic negligence in supply chain, and that is, well, if I have a 70-30 or an 80-20 split on my buy, low cost, high cost, if I just move a little bit more to my low cost, then I get a little bit more cost out. But you get less redundant, you have less resiliency. So it's only a matter of time before that fails. But US manufacturing bears some blame here, because we didn't fight that hard to keep it. And it takes a little bit of innovation, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. So anybody that's been paying attention to supply chains knows this was inevitable. And you know, you have a disruptive event like that and it throws everything out. You know?
And I urge my viewers to follow Mike's company on all the social media platforms, because your social media company is very active, and you produce some great videos. Let's go ahead and roll this one.
The old way of doing things isn't dying. It's dead. At Veryable, change isn't the only constant, because American grit never quits. We're here to upgrade American manufacturing and upskill the American worker. Veryable is the answer to an impossible problem, a make solution, empowering the worker, and remaking the middle class. Veryable isn't a resurrection. Veryable is a revolution. Through our tech, operators get to set their own hours, test their mettle, and attain new skills. It's mobility meets merit for the American worker. Our revolutionary platform is a risk-free way for businesses to scale up or down, adding capacity on a need basis to meet surges and declines in demand. We're not a product, we're a partner. So let's rise up, revolutionize the American workplace, and reawaken the American dream. Veryable. Make your way.
Mike, I'm so impressed with you. Where do you see this all going?
Those are real variable operaters.
No
by the way,
kidding.
too.
It wasn't actors and
production.
actresses, and yeah.
No, actual operators.
How big can you dream? Where do you see this going?
We're going to be a lot bigger. We're just scratching the surface. So our biggest marketplaces right now, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, they're already pretty big. You know, we've got more operators in each one of these cities than Uber has drivers.
Wow.
So there's that, but then there's also just how do we bring the rest to bear? You know, there's a lot of software solutions that need to be brought to market. There's a lot of equipment solutions that need to be brought to market. There's a lot of augmented reality solutions that need to be brought to market. Now this technology is all there. So the issue isn't the absence of great ideas and great technology. The issue is how to architect the solution and do the right sequence of events. That's where we come in.
I got to be honest, I interview a lot of people on my show, and as I'm interviewing you, I feel like I'm talking to a Mark Zuckerberg or an Elon Musk. I mean, you absolutely are a visionary.
I'll take the second one.
Okay. Well, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts. If there's a lot of entrepreneurs who watch this show, what would be your advice to a young entrepreneur who's just getting started?
You gotta have a vision and be almost dogmatic and religious about it. Like, you gotta care that much about it or you'll never get through it. And it's a hard, as you know, it's a hard battle. I mean, you gotta fight it every day. So you aim high, you take it day by day, and you find the right people to go to battle with. You know, people on your team, investors, folks that believe in what you're believing in, because it's not smooth. You got to work real hard.
Wow. You've been a great guest. Thank you so much. We're going to end with the website, which is variableops.com. Mike Kinder, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.